As they struggled to fill their gas tanks and worried about fuel for heat and electricity, most Americans agreed. The infant nuclear power industry needed to grow quickly.
It created a dynamic within the federal government and the nuclear industry of, hey, we've got to build more nuclear plants.
These plants grew in size by leaps and bounds. They were subsidized by the federal government. It really looked like the sky was the limit.
By 1974, there were 43 nuclear plants around the nation, with another 104 on the way. Work on the 3 Mile Island plant was begun that same year. The managers of the new plant would be the Metropolitan Edison Company, known as Met-Ed. The company went to great lengths to reassure citizens living near 3 Mile Island that the new technology was perfectly safe.
The experts said you never have to worry about an accident because we have backups to backups, and there'll never be an accident.
We were assured that an accident like TMI was, quote-unquote, non-credible. It couldn't happen.
But for all the promises of the past, the accident was happening, and happening quickly. Unnoticed, high up on the pressurizing tank of Unit 2, 1,000 pounds of radioactive steam and water a minute continued to pour out of the stuck relief valve.
So now there was less and less coolant every minute, and it caused the instruments to go crazy, to lie to the operators.
There are 2,000 instruments in the control room. Amazingly, none show how much coolant is in the reactor. The status of the reactor's all-important coolant is monitored indirectly by measuring the pressure inside the reactor. It's similar to showing how much water is in a tea kettle by measuring the pressure of the steam coming out. And what all these lights and gauges now show is a level of pressure in the system that says water is gradually filling the reactor's pressure tank. If allowed to fill to the top, the water will finally have nowhere to expand and will burst the critical coolant system like an overinflated balloon. Reactor operators call the condition going solid and have been taught never to allow it to happen. The pressure gauges suggest the water is continuing to rise, 200, 300, 350 inches. The manual says 400 inches is the maximum.
That pressurizer was shown to be full of water when in fact it was actually losing water. It was a false indication of where the water was. But they responded the way their procedures and training had taught them was to deal with that problem.
5 a.m. The control room begins to fill with people all trying to bring the worsening situation under control. But the system is not behaving according to the book. With the pressure so high, there should be too much